My name is Amanda K. Pardue, and I'm here with former Governor Charles B. Aycock. I want to thank you for taking time away from your condo in Pebble Beach to be with us.
Well, thank you, Amanda. Life in retirement is fairly easy. I am used to more tropical climates this time of year, but I always look forward to an opportunity to come back to the great state of North Carolina.
Well, we sure do enjoy having you, sir. My favorite quote about you is from Oliver H. Orr. He said, Aycock concentrated on advancing the simple convictions that human welfare depended upon progress, that progress depended upon knowledge, and that knowledge depended upon schools.
Well, I don't know if I did, but I certainly tried.
Well, what is it, sir, that you believe is the importance of schools?
Well, I think schools are important to spread knowledge. I think knowledge is key for any society, especially one that is democratic, such as our own. You need an intelligent citizenry, an intelligent populace, to be able to make informed choices when it comes to voting. Obviously, the populace was fairly informed when they voted me governor in 1901, but that needs to continue, and the knowledge will help people improve themselves. This is the great country. This is America. And I think throughout our history, you have seen examples of individuals come from very little to do very great things.
Well, sir, looking at your record and all you've done for North Carolina, it's evident that you see schools as a great opportunity for students. Do you see that opportunity should be a requirement? Should schools be mandatory?
I do. When I worked in Wayne County, that's the Goldsboro district, I saw a interesting statistic correlation, and it was the percentage of illiteracy. It was high among men, white men, and even more among black men. I believe it reached 33% among the blacks. And I saw that was closely correlated with the number of dropouts. You know, schools were much shorter back then, but very few people were going for the required amount of time, and very few students were attending. Only about 2/3 of the students who are mandated to go were attending. And so I chose to fix that. I lengthened the length of time required for students to go, and I improved the amount of attendance. And as that occurred, you saw the illiteracy rates drop. So I think that in of itself, that's a statistical proof that requiring schooling improves the education of the citizenry, and obviously makes a much more functioning society, much more functioning government as a whole.
What was that mandated time period for required schooling back then, sir?
It was only about 4 months, but that was statewide, but it was very, very lax in its mandate. Some places were only going as little as 10 weeks.
Wow.
So yes, it was a shame, and I took a measure to change that.
Well, I see that you obviously want students to have a quality public education. What do you think is necessary for that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is community involvement, and that starts with the physical presence of the people. You know, they need to know that education is important. They need to send their children. They need to promote education amongst the community through civic organizations and such. Even the church, you know, I think the churches do a pretty good job of promoting education, even though we do leave them out of our curriculum. But I think it's more than just the physical, it's the monetary. Unfortunately, this is a capitalist society, and as the expression goes, money talks. And in this circumstance, money talks very much when it comes to education. It is the most important thing. I think most people look at education and they see failures within the system, and there are shortcomings. But I think most of those shortcomings are brought on by a lack of funding. When I was in Wayne County, Goldsboro District, as I was mentioning earlier, there was a big problem with public funding. They wouldn't fund, especially the black schools. But I pulled the old switcheroo, and I made it into one flat tax rate for both black and white schools, and increased the taxes that went towards schooling. And you could see immediately a great increase in the literacy and the intelligence of our citizenry. I would like to quote one of one of my good friends. One of my good friends. His name it escapes me now. Charles D. MacGyver. That's it. And he mentioned my work in the Goldsboro district, and he said the great need of public education in North Carolina is for every school district to do what the Goldsboro district did 10 years ago when I was there. That is, to vote a sufficient amount of money to make its schools worthy of the support and patronage of all citizens.
Well, that certainly is a compliment, sir.
I think that says it all. You know, you gotta talk with the wallet. It's not just enough to do. You gotta fund it.
Yes, sir. Well, you certainly did a lot for North Carolina. And actually, you were known as the educational governor.
That's what some called me. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, and that came from your time spent in Wayne County as superintendent, which was appointed to you. You weren't elected. You were actually appointed to that position. Would you like to tell us anything more about what you did there?
I just improved the circumstances, I would like to think. Literacy rates went down. Funding went way up. The funding for black schools especially, because back then, like I said, they did not want to fund black schools back in segregated times. But thanks to my efforts, both whites and black schools received better funding, which meant a better education for all. And I think that people saw that the money helped, and that's a big thing. If you can't, it's not enough to just have mandatory public education. That's where it's got to begin. You need that, but you need the money.
Yes, sir. Well, we're quite proud of your influence here in North Carolina. I personally can't imagine public education without your history and willingness to fight for your beliefs and the benefit of our children. So I just want to thank you for that, and also thank you for your trip up here.
Well, thank you, darling. You do me too much justice. I would like to apologize. I hope I'm not a floating head. I see. Unfortunately, I've matched too much with the surroundings. So I apologize for that. I hope it's no inconvenience. But I did appreciate you coming.
I guess the producers were just wanting you to feel more at home.
I guess so. Reminds me of the orange groves back home.
Yes, sir. Well, it sure has been a pleasure examining your expertise on the issue of education, and a nice opportunity for me to interview one of North Carolina's own great progressive educational leaders. So I appreciate this very much, sir.
Thank you, darling, and y'all be well now.